and welcome to Eczema Phoenix, where we learn how to transform the way we live with eczema. My name is TeresaAlabata, and today I'm going to talk about traveling to Italy for the first time with eczema. So before my trip to Italy, I had been dealing with some flare-ups from recent sugar and I think caffeine and a little bit of alcohol consumption. So I already had some flare-ups going on before the trip, but I went with a friend to Sardinia in August, which happened to be the hottest month of the entire year there, and it was a bit brutal, to be honest. I think it didn't help that I already had some flare-ups going on, so there's already some inflammation and heat happening, but I just decided to try something new and to join my friends, so I went there for a week, and I think that for the most part I survived it, but the unfortunate thing about Sardinia is that you definitely need to drive there, and we chose not to. So we spent a lot of time on the bus, and sometimes it was packed, and that was a little stressful. And because we didn't have a car, it was not as accessible for me to search for vegan or just dairy-free options when it came to drinking coffee or other drinks that had milk in them. And we were an hour outside of the main city, which did have a vegan district, which was cool. So it was, I kind of took the bullet. I decided, I'm just gonna indulge for a week. I'm gonna take the bullets, and I'm going to deal with the flare-ups afterwards. I made that choice. So I had sugar, I had dairy, I had seafood, which I'm actually okay with, except for certain fish other than salmon, and alcohol, and I had it every day because of the wine and the coffee, and the desserts were so good, and the pastas and the food is freaking delicious. It is like Italian soul food. If you know Italian, go to Sardinia and get everything on the menu because you can't go wrong. It's so it was amazing. So there was that, but yeah, dealing with the heat every day at the beach and even just trying to explore the city was a bit difficult because of the heat. It was just so extreme, and I felt really exhausted and dehydrated often, and I just had to constantly make sure I had at least one or two large water bottles with me, just considering how hot it was, and it was just too exhausting to explore as much as I would have liked to. I'm usually a big explorer. I like to walk around all over a new city and just see the sights, but not in August, not in Sardinia. Oh my god. It was brutal. It was a little humid, but not as humid as a tropical environment, which is nice. At least it wasn't as heavy and muggy as say Fiji or Bali would be for me, but it was still pretty hot. And so every time I ate sugar, I got blistery flare-ups that let out through my pores on their own, which is nothing new. I experienced that having candida for the first time after visiting Fiji, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below if you'd like to see my playlist or that particular video on me traveling to that destination and the experience I had on my skin. But oh my god. And then after eating dairy, each time I noticed that my eyelids in particular would get swollen, and that was pretty consistent. That was pretty direct. And after having alcohol, I'd say I just felt more dehydrated. I think it may have also contributed to similar sugar-related flare-ups with bleeding and blistering, but I think it was actually okay. Mostly just had wine, and I did try one of their local beers, Ishnusa, I think it's called, or Ikanusa. It's very good. I like it. I think it's lighter and refreshing, and I personally enjoyed it. So there was that, and so I'd say Sardinia in general was actually pretty nice in terms of the travel aspect of it. It reminded me of New Zealand. It's a bit more rural. It's a bit more very local. It's a small island off the southwestern coast of Italy. It's kind of Mediterranean. The people seem pretty humble, very family oriented, very proud. Though no Italian before you go to Italy. I was just so American. I just thought it would be another place, another tourist destination that would cater to English speakers, and It is not really. I mean, it can. There's some people who will entertain you or indulge you a bit, but really you should know Italian before going to Italy, and I totally respect that because it is their country, and it was a culture shock, but it was a good culture shock, and it reminded me that the world doesn't revolve around America all the time, or just English as the main speaking language, as it shouldn't, because there's different countries with different ways of communicating, and we should honor and respect all of it, and try to immerse ourselves in different cultures and expand our minds and expand our ways of communicating in general. So if I ever go to Italy again, I will brush up on Italian for my survival. I luckily had my phone in Sardinia and I was able to do Google Translate. And once I started using Google Translate and I was able to communicate with them in their language, it was a much better experience. They seemed to be amused and entertained by it, or at least appreciative of the effort that I put into trying to communicate with their language. And so that's definitely important. If you go to another country and you're a native English speaker, I do not advise yelling to try to make yourself understood better. Not everyone speaks English as a first language, and if they didn't understand you in your conversational tone, they're not going to understand you in a loud shouting tone or volume. So yes, that was a very cool and interesting experience. I really love the food. The local grocery stores look like farmers markets. Even the discount markets look like gourmet Whole Foods level quality. But I mean, it's local Italian food, so of course it's going to be the best in its country of origin. And yeah, just everything tastes incredible. All the drinks, all the desserts, all the meals were amazing. And there is a strip, the Puello Beach, which has like a lot of spots where you can rent an umbrella with a long chair and just like lay at the beach and relax and take a nap, and you can go swimming, and that was actually quite nice. I really enjoyed that a lot. Sorry, just turned off an alarm on my phone. And so I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well. The beaches were amazing. Just the waves and the breeze was quite nice, and it's very easy to relax at the beach. In the future, I would rent a car so that I could explore other beaches and other beautiful terrains. I heard there are like even more beautiful beaches outside of that Puello Strip. And the Puello Strip is quite popular and fun, and there's a lot of other places you can eat or go out or get a drink if you wanted. So yeah, you could be there. That would be the more central, busy, and slightly more touristy area. But I think in the future, I will definitely rent a car so that I could just see more of the truly authentic parts of Sardinia that are not as touched by tourism. And so that's Sardinia for me. After that, I had a layover in Milan for a day. I was looking forward to exploring it. I had this plan. I got a pass, like a public transportation pass. I was gonna try to see some sights and eat some food in Milan. And I got pickpocketed. The night that I arrived at Central Station in Milan from the airport, I got pickpocketed for the first time. I didn't even feel it. I mean, I'd heard about it, but I did not realize how stealth they are. I mean, it is like magic. It's like, poof, where did my stuff go? I swore I like had my eyes, or I was feeling everything in my hands or in my pockets, but wow, they are magicians. And then I came at the nighttime. I came around 7 p.m. and between that and 10 p.m., about 35 known people got pickpocketed and went to the police station at that bus station, or that metro station that has the trains and whatnot and the subway systems. And I'm like, man, it was a rainy day as well. It was at night. It was Central Station in Milan, very unsafe. I lost both my phone and my wallet, which was so stressful, and I couldn't do Google Translate without my phone, so the police were not accommodating to me. They didn't even try to pull it up on their computer system. It pretty much was like a big FU. And even the locals, there was like a combination of tourists and local Italians who got pickpocketed. So like they were just targeting anyone. And oh man, it was such a difficult situation, and what a night. And yeah, I heard that rainy nights are big times for pickpocketers in Milan, or I may be Italy, but at least in Milan to to take advantage of the situation, to take advantage of people being in a rush to get where they want to be because they want to get out of the rain and perhaps aren't as vigilant over their belongings as they normally would be. And it's harder to notice things happening with all the rain pouring down. And that rain poured down so thickly, it felt like it was pouring streams of rain. I didn't feel like pellets of rain. I felt like streams and pools of rain on me, very, very thick, very different than what I've ever experienced. And so over the course of like essentially 5 to 6 hours, I was freaking out. I made a lot of cool acquaintances and nice people at the police station trying to wait to file the police report. I somehow befriended a really nice Italian guy, and he was nice enough to let me stay over at his place. Just call it a miracle. So much happened. I'm just grateful for friendly people and kind, good-hearted people, and that I was able to find someone to keep me safe because I was all alone. Oh my god, and while I was at the police station, I was like borrowing all of these random people's phones, logging into their Facebooks and like Skypes and WhatsApps, trying to contact my boyfriend and let him know what was going on so that he would still meet me at the airport the next day after my flight back to San Francisco. And I'm like, thank you, strange people for around the world who let me use your phones to communicate with my man. Many blessings. Hope you had great travels. Otherwise, after that, I also chatted with a Muslim man from Saudi Arabia who was visiting Milan with his wife, and he was just over conversation and just exchanging stories about why we were traveling and getting pickpocketed. He asked me at one point, do you have any money? Are you going to be okay? Where are you going to sleep? Are you going to be okay to get to your flight the next morning? And I'm like, I just got nothing. Like, I am pickpocketed to the nines. Like, I've just got nothing. I don't even know how I'm gonna get anywhere because I don't even have a euro on me at this point. I spent whatever cash I had left on me on food and drink, which also got pickpocketed off of me like a few hours later, which is just like mind blowing. But oh my god, I really hope those people enjoyed it. I really hope they needed it. But anyway, that Muslim man felt so sorry for me. He went and got me $30 to exchange for a train ride back to the airport that I had just come from to go to my Airbnb, which I never went to. And I was just so grateful. After the exchange rate and the fee, the exchange place, the currency exchange place, gave me back just enough money, which was like half of the amount, but like just enough money to get back to that airport, get a water, and get a snack, each about €1 each. Like, thank you, universe. Like, this is just, I know, it was inconvenient, but it was like super perfect. Like, everything still somehow worked out. I did somehow make it through everything. I still made it to my flight. I still got back home, and I was able to rest. But wow, that was like really stressful. And in terms of my skin, I just like dealt with it. I at least had my backpack with all my skincare. So yeah, definitely when you're traveling with eczema, just keep all the important things like skincare and hygiene products in your backpack, on your carry-on, to carry with you everywhere, because without that, oh my god, just don't even know. But I would have found a way. It would just been much harder. Thankfully, it didn't have to be that much harder. So that was my experience traveling to Italy for the first time, and as well, Europe for the first time. It was tough. I'm sure there will be better experiences. I'm not in a hurry to go back, but I do have some friends overseas who are there, like who are from Germany and France and things like that, and it would be cool to, in the UK, it would be cool to meet them one day, other eczema warriors. But I'm just gonna like take my time and do a little more research next time I go to Europe, and especially in Italy. And I look forward to having better experiences in the future, having experienced this, and I think also in the future I will wear one of those body pocket things for your passport and your cash next time I go to Europe, especially a metropolitan city. Now, having said that, going back to Sardinia, that was super safe, like New Zealand. I had nothing to worry about. I didn't lose anything. I felt very safe. but Milan is much more developed. It's fashion capital. It's like, it kind of reminded me of New York. It was really, really urban. Yeah. And so, yeah, a big city like that, a big city like that in another country, I would definitely wear something like that to start, to start exploring that city with, just in case. Okay, well, that is my trip to Italy, and so now, in terms of my skin, the aftermath, I had a lot of inflammation, swelling, especially around my neck. Also, lately where I'm at, especially in the South Bay where I visit my boyfriend, it's a lot hotter and drier, and just trying to sleep over there is brutal. Like, it's so hot I can't even relax enough to sleep. And that definitely affected me, just the stress, the sleep deprivation, the heat, the dryness. I've just been dealing with like the aftermath of it, and so I've developed some cracks, which I'm healing from. Also went to the beach over Labor Day, which was super fun with him and his family, and I got a little sunburn, so I don't know if it will show on camera or in a larger screen. I can't really tell on my cell phone right now, but maybe in a larger screen you might see some flaky skin, some little bits here, little bits just peeling off here and there, and so I am peeling and healing, and I'm just cooling myself down, cooling down the inflammation with fruits and veggies and soups and stews, like a lot of water-based things, cooling herbs like marshmallow roots, peppermint, rose petals, different things like that, and trying to just stay relaxed and not let the stress or the discomfort or the pain of it get to me, because I've been down this road before and I'll get through it again. It just takes some time. The last time I went through something like this was like in Fiji, and that experience was way worse because I was like, my arms were burnt to crisp, and I had like huge candida and intertrigo flare-ups all over my body, like symmetrically over large parts of my body, and my neck, and also was super like swollen and cracked as well. So this is actually nothing compared to the Fiji experience, but it is similar, and there's heat, there's discomfort, there's some cracking and blistering and bleeding and all that kind of jazz, but I know the conditions that led up to it, so all I have to do is the opposite things to that, and I'll be right as rain. Maybe it'll take a couple weeks, maybe it'll take a couple months. Either way, I'm going to just keep going through it until I am through it, and I will be through it because I've gone through it before, and yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to traveling again sometime, maybe to a cooler climate. That would be nice to get a little environmental treatment, a little environmental medicine going on, because definitely the hot sun has been a part of my discomfort and imbalance lately. So going to like a colder, drier, colder and maybe more hydrating, lush environment like Wellington, New Zealand in the fall or the winter would be ideal, but for now I'm just going to take cold showers, ice myself, and stay cool internally with cooling foods, cooling herbs, and cooling teas. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or tips. I'm open to always learning something new, and we don't know what we don't know. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!